All right, we are back, everybody, and there is plenty more to dish about the upcoming Guam BBQ Block Party. It is on July 7th over in Tumon at Pleasure Island, and today, auto enthusiast Jeff Rios is here, my former classmate at UOG, and Josh Tikenko, a former journalist. Actually, you're always a journalist, Josh.
Always a journalist.
Always a reporter at heart, always telling cool stories, and always promoting Guam right now in your current duties as PIO of GVB,
Exactly.
so thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us again.
All right.
It's good to be back.
Jeff, very good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Last time I saw you was on campus, but you too are doing good things for the island, and your labors are going to be greatly appreciated at the BBQ Block Party.
Yeah, appreciate that. You know, happy to be a part of it. Anything that has to do with the cars, and I'd love to get involved, but of course, nothing wrong with the barbecue either. So,
well, I've been fortunate to cover, like we've put on Facebook Live, like the last couple of BBQ Block Parties.
Yeah.
The classic car exhibit, it's off to the side, but it draws a huge, huge crowd because as Guamanians, you know, car culture is so part of who we are when we grow up and everything. But this year there's an added bonus because you guys are actually paying tribute to a friend of yours.
Yes, we are. It was last year, July, when we lost a buddy. You know, we lost very, very good friend, and he's a very, very good friend of mine. And, you know, and a mentor, of course, in the classic car and automotive industry for me. But you know, he's been the guy, the backbone, I think, of all the cruises and all the get-togethers and anything that has to do with the classic cars. He's the guy that normally would call around and get everybody involved. So it's a big deal, you know. Him passing last year, and it was a big shock for us and for a lot of the guys, the classic car guys, especially who know him very well. You know,
this is John Camacho we're speaking
This is
about.
John Camacho, yes. You know, I call him Daddy O, and he calls me B-Boy. We're very, very close, and we were very, very close. And every time I see certain cars that remind me of him. You know, he drove a really nice 32 Ford rat rod looking thing, and also restored a Chevy pickup, a 55, and was working on a Corvette that he just I think he got it started and was ready to get it painted, and then he had passed. But he's got some cool cars, and he's been a real inspiration for me in finishing some of my cars, and for a lot of others on Guam too as well, who have managed to get their cars in the state that they are today, thanks to him. Because he'll go over there and push you, man. He'll get over there and push you along, get your car done.
I'd like to pick your brain about that for a few seconds,
Sure.
Jeff, because car restoration on Guam, you go to any neighborhood on Guam, any street, and there's at least one neighbor that's working on a project. They may have like an old truck in the yard, or they've even set up like a tarp and they've got some old car under it and everything. What does it take to actually restore a car? Because those parts can be kind of hard to come by and everything. But why is that such a big part of who we are as a culture?
Well, because I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot to do here, right? So I mean, the guys, the kids grew up with with the lowriders, and then as I think they get older, they start to appreciate those cars. Even the lowriders have some significance in their lives. I mean, I grew up liking those as well, and liking Volkswagens because I was interested in drag racing them when I was a kid, and now I have a collection of them because now I appreciate, as they got older, that becoming an antique or a classic, as we call them. But yeah, it's definitely, I think for the kids, it's they grow up 16, 17 years old, and if you've been involved in if anybody in the family is involved with the cars, they're going to want a lowrider, and then they'll eventually grow up and end up keeping something that's dear to them, something they've had forever, and that's when that classic car, version of an old truck comes into play, and we love cars. I mean,
that's way back in the Friday night cruising days.
Yeah.
That's old school right there.
Even way back to Mad Mills cruising competition. Yep. If you're old enough to know that, then Mad Mills cruising was a big deal. That was also influenced by John Camacho too, as well. It was him and Sonny Shelton and who actually were in the States and saw a cruise like that and brought that idea to Guam. Yeah, so if you remember Mad Mills,
absolutely,
they had Mad Mills cruising competition. And
I bought a lot of records there.
Yeah.
Then you go right next door to Heaven, you get a couple T-shirts.
That's right, the Heaven T-shirt.
Get some candy.
Yeah. So they had 2 locations, and they started that first evening for a Friday night cruise, and so.
But you guys are keeping that tradition alive. It's like,
we are,
there's still the respect for cars and introducing a new generation to the different types of cars. You were talking about the old VWs or like the old Fords. What are some of the models we'll see on display at the BBQ Block Party?
Okay, well, you're probably going to see, I'm sure you're going to see a bunch of old Fords. There's quite a collection of fully restored Fords here. There's stuff that range from the 30s to the 40s, and then you'll see some Chevys that are probably be out, and they'll be in the 50s. Yeah, one of the guys who's a good friend of John's as well, and you know, he's got 3 very, very nice cars, and I'll convince him to bring at least one of them. 'Cause, I mean, I'm sure he'll be there because he's very close, and we're doing this for John, so we're actually getting a lot of inquiries. Who wants to go, and I'm, you know, they're all, hey Jeff, man, come on, can I bring my car? And I'm like, man, I don't want to be the guy that's gonna say no, you can't or whatever. But you know, I know it's a very limited space, limited area down there for the cars. And
okay, so if people do want to get in touch with you, so like, is there an email address, or like, do you have a Twitter account where people can reach you at?
Yeah, well, definitely they can send me. I mean, you know, contact. Most of the guys know me anyways, so I mean, they see this, I'm doomed, man. My phone's gonna blow up, man. So yeah, they're all gonna say, man, I thought. You know.
Well, you can go ahead and forward your billing statement with your telecom provider to Josh and Jeff. Yeah, he'll take care of that. But Josh, you know, that's one of the things you'll be taking care of this month. So what else have you got for us planned with the barbecue block party?
What's new with barbecue block party for this year is that since we're on the subject of cars, anyone that's going to be driving down into Tumon, we're going to be having some extra parking available. So the north side of EPAL Beach Park is open for parking there. We're going to have VSOs stationed there. We're going to have a couple food trucks in case people are hungry. And we have a trolley provided by Lam Tours and Transportation that will be running every 20 minutes going down to Pleasure Island for people that can't find parking or don't want to deal with the traffic in that area, but you know, want a little bit more convenience.
That's a nice way to commute too.
Yeah, and so I mean, people can walk too. I mean, it's a beautiful walk down in Tumon. But yeah, if you have your car and you want to park down at the north side of EPAL Beach Park, closest to GVB and Proa. We have parking available there for everyone that wants to go to barbecue block party.
Or they can just park in your assigned parking spot at GVB. It's the nice big one with the
oh, I wish.
painted with 24 karat gold. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we've got a lot more information on this event. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. We do appreciate that. But we got to cruise and take a look at some commercials. But we will be back right after this.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your 4th meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.